Hello and welcome everybody, what is going on? So this is MiaSanMiaTV and we have just beaten Augsburg 3-1 away. That score is fairly familiar. We've beaten them 3-1 on Wednesday and now we've beaten them 3-1 away at their stadium. So it looks like the matches against Augsburg this season will all end in a 3-1 victory to us. That's what I'm putting out right now. So overall, talking about this match, I really want to focus about two players because this match deserves two players. But I'm also going to mention a few other players. But let's start with the two main players that were really standing out to me. The first one, which in my opinion is probably the man of the match, Robin. Robin. Now, every time I talk about Robin, it's like, yeah, he's awesome. Like, every time I talk about Robin, I don't criticize him because, every time I talk about him, he is just that good. So I'm not even gonna say much about him, but every time he gets the ball, you know what he's gonna do. You know where he wants to go. He's a player that only has one direction. He doesn't know how to go back. He only knows how to go forward, in my opinion. And that's obviously, in my opinion, his biggest strength, that he always wants more. He's a hungry player. He's a greedy player. Everyone's saying, oh, he's a greedy player, but I'm saying that's a good thing because he always wants more. So if the team looks, if the team is not feeling up for it and whatnot, Robin will always be like, yeah, let's go for it. And you can see today that obviously what we know about him is his quality on the ball, his quality shooting, his left foot, how good his left foot is. But it's not just his shooting ability that is amazing, it's also his passing ability, which was clearly on show today. You could clearly see today that Robin, every time he did get the ball, he tried to play players in, he tried to create, he even tried to score himself, and it was only logical that he got 2 assists, I believe it was, and 1 goal. He assisted Lewandowski 2 times, I believe, and he got a goal himself. So it just shows you how dangerous he is when he's on the pitch, because everyone knows that you need like 1 or 2 players to really mark him, and once you do that, then you obviously have less players marking other players in the box and whatnot. So he's just that kind of dangerous player. And I'm really excited to see how he continues the season. As long as he doesn't get injured, I'm really happy, because once he gets injured, it's always going to take quite a while. And obviously, he is quite injury prone, but I'm hoping that he doesn't get injured anytime soon. I'm hoping he's going to have a full season, because then he's going to get the contract that you so desperately want. For sure. But yeah, Robin was obviously, for me, the man of the match in my opinion, just because he was that good creating against Augsburg, and that good actually going forward with the ball. He was so direct, and he only had one intention, that was to get a goal, to get goals for the team. But then the second player who scored 2 goals, which is kind of funny, you have Lewandowski score 2 goals, finally break his goal drought. You finally have him score goals, but I still wouldn't put him the man of the match, because I just think Robin was that good today. So the player to score 2 goals, Lewandowski, he's not man of the match in my opinion. He got 2 goals and 1 assist, and he is still not man of the match. That's quite funny, isn't it? But yeah, Lewandowski absolutely lethal today. He had a few chances. Yeah, he could have scored maybe 1 or 2 more goals. Like in the last minute, Kimi set him up, which he maybe could have finished. But those are all ifs, buts, and maybes. But today he was pretty clinical. He gets the ball from Robin from the first goal, then sets up Robin with the second goal, and then scores for the 3rd goal. It just shows you how good a healthy Lewandowski is. He has been missing quite a few good chances. He's been quite isolated lately, but today, when he actually gets the service, when he actually gets the ball, you can just see how good he is on the ball. So yeah, Lewandowski, well done. I'm hoping he's gonna keep up. I'm hoping that's not gonna be like he scores today and then goes off on like 3 weeks or so not scoring, because we need his goals right now. It's not as important right now as it is in March, April, whatnot, but it's still quite important now. Let's be realistic here. We need to get some goals. He needs to get some goals, because the more goals he gets, the bigger his confidence will be. And the same applies to Müller. Both of them, they need to score, just so that confidence goes up, because obviously right now they're like, it's not really working for me. What am I gonna do? So it was nice seeing him get a goal today, or get 2 goals today, I should say, and an assist. So yeah, I'm really happy about that. But another player that really stood out today, and a player that has been standing out, probably a player of the season so far, has been Thiago. Now, Every time I mention Thiago, I always say, you know, he's always been, last season for example, he was very consistent at the start and then faded off in the second half of the season. I'm hoping that, obviously, I keep saying that every single week because he's just been that good so far, that if he keeps this up, if he keeps up as good as as good as he was today, and keeps it up for the second half of the season, I really can't see anyone stopping us. And then obviously with Vidal as well, you have a lot of players that, you know, that could really help in the midfield, because right now Alonso is not up to task. Right now, I don't know if that's going to change throughout the season or not, but right now, you know, he was doing very sloppy mistakes. In the first half, he actually gave the ball away in the box. You know, I don't mind giving the ball away like in midfield or whatnot, but in the box when you need to be you need to have the most attention, when you need to be concentrated and focused. He gave the ball all the way to the Augsburg player who took a shot, but Neuer saved it. And then, you know, for the goal, he heads it out. Like, you know, Lahm kicks it out. I'm like, why you just kick it out? You know, you've got time. You've got, you know, take your time and look for a pass. Don't just kick it out. And then Alonso, he looks up, sees the ball, heads it away without looking where anyone is, and then that goes to Augsburg player, and then they scored through Co. So it's just a bit of focus. That's what you need right now, Alonso. And the same goes for Lahm, to be fair. But yeah, well, Augsburg, you know, overall they actually played really good. You know, you look at how they played. They tried to counter. The first half, when they tried to counter, they just faced a brick wall. But slowly and surely, it eased off in like the second half, and they were actually able to counter. And I mentioned this before, but if teams knew how to counter much better, then, you know, we'd be in much more trouble, because right now our defense is looking very poor. So Augsburg, they had a few chances to counter, but they just didn't know what to do with the final ball. They knew how to run forward. I mean, everyone knows how to run forward, but they didn't know what to do with the final pass. So that was really what let them down today, and actually let them down in the midweek game as well, where, you know, every time they did try and go forward, they just didn't know what to do with the final ball. And that's definitely something that they can improve on, but that's definitely something that we need to improve on as well, that we don't just let, you know, teams able to run with the ball throughout the whole pitch and then get to our goal just for them to mess up, because bigger and better teams won't mess up, and that's obviously something that we'll have to focus on and something that we'll have to concentrate on. But that's just my thoughts on the game. Like I said, it's a 3-1 victory. There's not much to complain. Obviously, we gave up a goal, yes, but hey, we're always gonna give up a goal here and there, although I would have liked a clean sheet because we haven't had one for a while. But Badstuber came on as well. I forgot to mention that, you know, during the midweek, but that's because he came on and he hardly had anything to do. Today though, there were a few instances where he had something to do, and it was quite opposition a few times, to be fair. But obviously he's still coming back from injury, so we'll see in a week or two, maybe a bit longer than that. We'll see maybe in a month or so where he is at, you know, in terms of ability, in terms of fitness, in terms of everything. Once he's able to play 90 minutes, that's when I'll properly evaluate him, how he's been playing and so far. But so far today, you know, all I'll say is, yeah, he's back. He is back again. A few more minutes today again. Last time he got like 50 minutes, so he got 20 minutes. So, you know, slowly increasing time. That's a positive thing. But that's my take though on the match, ladies and gentlemen. As always, people, tell me what you guys think in the comment section down below. Rate, comment, favorite, and subscribe. Peace out and have a nice day. Bye.